Hi friends, it's Jenny, and I'm just got all kinds of stuff here. I am working on many projects. Let me catch you up. Last night when we left, right after I said, wow, the charger on this drill lasts forever, it putzed out on me as I was drilling. So that took a long time to charge. Completely. I'm sure I could have charged it for just like 20 minutes and then kept going, but I just wanted it to get a full charge again because now I know I'm good for another month. And I'm leaving in a couple days, so I'm good. I went to do the wallpaper. Well, I did the wallpaper. Here's the good news. The bathroom is wallpapered. Isn't that great? I literally this morning, before I even got out of bed, woke up, and then I started thinking about the wallpaper. And I ordered 2 plants to put on the ground next to the sink. Because, of course, the very last part of the bathroom that I papered was the sink that you look at the entire time you're in the bathroom. It's the dumbest decision I made. The dumbest. So now I'm running out of wallpaper. I don't want to buy a whole nother roll. This bathroom took 2 rolls. But because of cutting it to make it match as I was going through, because the walls aren't exactly, doesn't like match the pattern to just, all right, now the pattern's starting to repeat again and I do the same thing. No. So there are times that there'd be like 1.5 feet extra and whatnot. So by the time I got to the end, I am now piecemealing behind the sink, all these little pieces. And I screwed up on one piece and it went down and had about this much left at the bottom. I originally thought, no big deal. I'm just going to match up the pattern and put another little piece down there. But as I was running out, I had to like make it an L piece. And then somehow, I think it's the way the walls were made. Of course, we know it's not plumb. But these corners were not sticking in the corner. It maybe, I don't know what it is. I was going to say maybe the paste was drying up so it wasn't sticking, then it wasn't going around. I felt like my back 2 corners were good and I got a good corner. Was it a sharp corner? No. But these corners were at the point that when I would go to press later on, it would punch a hole. Like it really was not hitting that corner and it was like rounding a little bit. And then there would be like these holes in the paper. Well, there's no fixing that because there's no fixing that. So this morning I was thinking, do I just buy another roll and rip off everything over there? And the answer to myself was absolutely not. You never want to hang another 8-foot piece of wallpaper again, unless the walls were pre-painted. Again, I think I should have sized them. I think that the paint they put in here was not meant to be papered over without a roll of primer, I guess. I don't know. Seems like it works really good on like a glossy wall. Is ideal to get it to slip around. And these are flat. So it is what it is, but those 2 spots at the bottom, now you sit on the toilet and you got nothing to look at in there. I mean, I have the little shelf you can put your phone on, but if your phone's on that shelf by the sink, you don't have your phone with you. So you're just staring at the wall in front of you. So I bought 2 plants. We'll see. From Amazon. I was looking online. I did find another plant I kind of liked. I might end up putting it on the little shelf because there's sort of that shelf as you walk up the stairs. It might be on the corner of that shelf where I have the mirror right now. It's pretty bare right there. So that's a possibility. Or if those plants just don't look right at all and I have to return them. I was trying to cancel the order now that I think about it. Let me see if I can pull this out and do this while I'm talking to you. I realized I ordered it twice, or I thought there was just one. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I'll be honest. I don't know what was going on, but I ordered it twice and there's 2. They come 2 together. I like looked for 2 because I wanted 2 things that matched because both sides, and the left side, much worse. I thought I can put a trash can definitely by the right side one and cover it because it's a little bit lower, but the one on the left side is like 2 feet up where the wallpaper had a meet, and then it's not perfect. And you just walk in and look around. The bathroom looks great. If you're going to be sitting for a minute or two and looking around, you're going to start to see all kinds of errors. The upside is I got a lot of time last night since I was getting all those pieces to try to match up, and that one piece matched up perfectly. I was very excited. I got it behind the round fixtures and everything, so it looks like it was papered first and then the sink was put in. It took a long time. I didn't go to bed till 11:30 last night, and I was done with you at 7. And all I had to do were 4 pieces, 4 small pieces, not even like a long one. It just took a long time to find pieces that would match, pieces that would fit, getting around the coils that are back there, getting around there's 2 round pieces to go on. It was a lot. And the whole time there's a sink in your way. So I'm kind of working on the left and I'm kind of working on the right. And I'm like, this is ridiculous that I got myself into this situation, but it's my fault. I should have started with the sink. There you go. Live and learn. And then I realized the trash can up in the front there would look weird, since next to the toilet on both sides, there's a lot of empty space. And without the big sink coming out and just the toilet there, it seems like that is a logical spot that you would put the trash can, by the toilet. It's where it usually goes. So we'll see how the plants work out. Worst case scenario, like I say, the plant that I'm picking up on Sunday, which I could have gotten today, but I'll tell you that later because it's nearby my church. Actually, it's further away. Is that the one? No, there's something. That's a sign that I'm picking up. The one I'm picking up on Sunday, I'll just put in that left corner, and that'll hide the worst of the 2. It might just look better to just have one in the left corner anyway. I might get the other 2 and say, oh, they look fine, but it's too matchy-matchy. Who puts 2 identical plants on the floor in the bathroom next to the sink? It's not a common place. So it might draw your attention to what's she hiding back there? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. They're going to be here by Saturday. Today's Thursday. So I had gotten the hoses. And well, before I got the hoses, I was looking for something online and I found this picture and it was big. And I thought that might look really nice between the 2 sconces in my bedroom. That might tie it all in. It looked like it was kind of black and white. And I thought, well, maybe I don't even have to tea dye those. I probably will because they seem too bright white, but maybe I don't have to do them as long. I don't have to make them as dark. As we're talking, let me bring you over here because, oh no, this is what I'm working on. Oh, God. I was going to say I was going to boil the water and get the tea going, but I am covering my light switch right now. This is just about perfect. Cut a little too much off the top. There's that. But it's fine. Can Jenny's divided attention handle this task of talking to you and doing this at the same time? Probably not. I'll probably screw this up somehow. I'm sure I will. All right, let me make this shorter. I'm excited though that with these pieces left over, I put the towel or the toilet paper holder back on. That went without incident. How about that? There you go. I did something without something going wrong or it taking me more time. Usually when something goes wrong, it's my fault, but not always. Like the battery last night dying, not my fault. Just happened to be time for the battery to go. I mean, I guess somebody might say it's your fault because you should know that that battery was getting ready to go and it had been a whole month. And one night when you went to bed, you probably should have just charged the whole thing. There's that. But we're going to disregard that. All right. I do have to go through yesterday's video that I made because I know there's pauses and that in it before I publish it, because it's got to be annoying to listen to me in silence just working on something, or oftentimes just thinking. I just start talking, I'm telling a story, and then I'm like, what am I going to talk about next? And I pause. Or often in the middle of the story, I just pause. And then I get concerned and I picture myself as one of the dementia patients in the Alzheimer's wings when I was doing my externship as a speech therapist. Praise God for the wallpaper stuff. Now, I hope this sticks to plastic. If not, I can take it back off and use the seam glue, because I used the seam glue to fix a seam that was coming up today. As I put it in there, I realized it really is a very different consistency. It's much thicker and it's much more adhesive, more strong, and it dries much quicker for sure. So that would definitely work, but I'm gonna save it for its purposes. And maybe I should mark on here with a pencil exactly where I have this. It's not going to be perfect when I put it up, but it's going to line up pretty well to the wallpaper pattern on there. So I'm excited about that. I mean, we'll see when it gets on the wall, but that's the intent. So I did some self-tanning today, if I look darker. It has a lead color, so you can see where the color goes. So this is darker than I will be, but I'm supposed to leave it on for 8 hours. If you open the pen, it works better, Jen. Oh, really? Yeah, okay. The part I'm not looking forward to with this is using the X-Acto knife to cut out those little inserts there. I will, of course, just get rid of whatever X-Acto knife I'm using, or not the knife, but the blade, and put a brand new blade in to do it. But it just seems like it's not going to be really crisp and clean, but we'll see. All right, the ends to this wallpaper are so small. That was a mistake. I cut too much off, but it is what it is. I don't think this wallpaper paste is going to do the job. I think I'm going to need that seam glue, but we will at least put the wallpaper paste on here and then put the paper on there. And then I might need to use the seam glue all around here because the piece is just over the edge. I should have left more. Why didn't I leave more? I was thinking that I was picturing the corners being all difficult with too much. So I was trying to trim it closer. That's what I was thinking. Okay, so yeah, I got up and I ordered my plants. And then I did my self-tanning. And then I hung the mirror on my bathroom door, of which just about 30 minutes ago, now we're at 12:30. Okay, so I got up, I woke up at like 5 and I couldn't go back to sleep. Sleep score, 5 hours and 29 minutes. Okay, 63. It's nice of you to call that okay. Yesterday was okay too. I'm in this duration of not doing really well, and I know exactly why. It's because it's crunch time, and I'm thinking of all the projects that need to get done and how many hours are left in the day. And TikTok, Jenny. Now, my daughter's in-laws are now in town. They came into town last night, so I'm not going back over there. I would be actually. It has given me more time to get things done. On the upside. But I told her, I'm like, I'm just going to let you guys visit. I'm not going to impose and all that, but I will stop by at some point. I may have told you this yesterday. I'll stop by at some point to see them and say hi and visit for like an hour, I told her, and then I'll be gone. So she's like, okay, whatever you want to do. And I have the good excuse if they're, if they're trying to be polite and say, don't go. I'm not that enjoyable a company. I mean, again, I'm all right. But they were only there for, let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days. So they should, I've been here for 4 weeks. They deserve, was it up and down? Okay, it goes this way. Pause there for a second. I wasn't sure where to put this. Okay. So that's almost a blessing in disguise because I definitely would have been there this morning and I would be there tomorrow morning, especially because my son-in-law got put on this big project. They're bringing in some sort of computer system and they're testing it out, and they chose her husband's, my son-in-law's department as the department that's really going to test it out from The Netherlands is where they're based out of, the company's based out of. So the people from the Netherlands were coming. They were supposed to come last week, which wasn't ideal. He went back to work on Thursday and Friday of last week was the end of his 3 weeks. And then he could divide up he has 6 weeks paternity leave, so he could divide it one time. So he did 3 weeks after the baby was born. And then when my daughter goes back to work, he will take his next 3 weeks. So there'll be 3 more weeks before they put Callahan in childcare. So that's a good plan. I feel like I need to get the seam glue now. I'm not even going to try to think this wallpaper paste is going to make this paper. That's already been, I'm just putting this paste on. I know most of this paper that we're using has been used before. So the glue on it is no good. I'm hoping I can find a leftover scrap that's going to match the plug outlet as well, because that's kind of high up next to the sink. You actually see that one more than you see the light switch one. But the light switch, I was looking at the scraps that I had and nothing was matching anything. And then all of a sudden this one piece matched. I'm like, oh, this will work on the light switch. So even if only one of them really matches and the other one is just close or similar, that makes me happy. Rather than both of them not being good. All right, so I was saying my son-in-law department got put on this project and they were supposed to come the week before, and so he's like, well, I'm on paternity leave, but I'll be back on Thursday. And they said, okay. And then they're like, well, possibly you could just come in for a little bit or even call in, because we are going to have some meetings on that Wednesday that are real important for you to be part of, because my son-in-law was also chosen as the person to really learn it and then teach it to everybody else, like to be the head point person with the people from the Netherlands. So he's like, well, all right. And then his company was like, no, he's on paternity leave. He will not be taking a call on Wednesday. So that was good of them. My daughter's company, she works for a bank. They actually completely log you out. She has no way. Luckily, she could correspond with her boss just about like when she's coming back and all that kind of stuff, because they have their own personal cell phone numbers. But other than that, the slacking and everything, her ability to log into her account, it's all stripped away. And she goes, she thinks it's because they don't want any kind of legal issue that anybody said that they had to do any kind of work. And so the way to prevent that is to see to it that they can't do any kind of work. They can't get on their computers. They can't log into the system. I think it's a great idea. I like it. All right, this is starting to stick. I'm just holding it in place. It's taking a minute to stick to this plastic, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So the Netherlands people ended up coming this week instead. Because of that, normally my son-in-law works from home 2 days a week. And that would have been nice with his parents being in town, that he could be there and like see them between meetings and that during the day. But my daughter's like, it's better than if they came last week and he was supposed to be the one to learn it, and then he wouldn't be there and it would just be odd. So the Netherlands people just changed their schedule. And I might just stand here and hold this for about 15 minutes, kind of like I did when I was putting the mirror up. I found I had bought, I don't know if I got it at I think I got it at I'm almost positive I got it at the Rehome store. I was going to say it may have been Gabe's, but I don't think so. At the Rehome store, they had some stuff. Oh, maybe it was Gabe's. No, I don't know. Because I think I got batteries at the Rehome store, maybe not this. Anyway, some command strips that are like Velcro, but both sides are hooks. So they really hook into each other pretty strong. There was a pack of them for $2. It had a red clearance sticker on it. It just said $2. So I remember picking it up, and it was just been in my container of extra stuff, waiting for an opportunity to use it. And then the mirror was a great opportunity. So I opened it up this morning, and there were 3 pieces in it. I'm like, I hope that's enough. It says that it held like 6 pounds or something like that. That mirror felt like it may have weighed more than 6 pounds. But I don't know if it means each one of those things holds 6 pounds, in which case we're fine. If collectively they hold 6 pounds, I just want to make sure I don't slam that bathroom door. It may come down. But I held it for a long time to see to it that it adhered and it was sticking before I walked away. Now, I started saying this, I think, before. About 30 minutes ago, I heard a big thump upstairs. I'm like, oh no. Did my owl door stopper not do the job? That's what I was hoping was the case. And the wind just blew it shut, and the owl's now going to be sitting out in the hallway looking at me like, not my fault, that was a strong wind. Or did the mirror fall down? So I go up the stairs, and as I'm turning the corner, I see the light coming through from my bedroom, and I'm like, my door is still propped open. Shoot. So I walked in, and I went to the bathroom. The mirror was still on. I'm like, awesome. So what's the big thump? I realized the bathroom, or not the bathroom, but the bedroom down at the end of the hall, that door blew shut. It's a little more windy again today. Not windy like it was when I first got here, I tell you. That was crazy wind. But we had a couple days of almost no wind at all. So not every day feels like Cancun. I remember going to Cancun when the kids were small. I think my son was in like kindergarten, around that age. And our family went there, and when you walked I just thought it was amazing how none of the lobbies had air conditioning, nothing. And, I'm like, oh, we're all the way down in Mexico. You would think this was like spring break. But those winds blew through that lobby all the time, all day. And it always felt lovely in there. And my son just thought it was the greatest thing in the world. He's like, I love the wind. And so he'd love walking through the lobby and just be all excited by the wind. Didn't seem as windy when you were by the pool or by the ocean and that, but there's the design, maybe it was intentional. The builders designed it in such a way that there would be a wind tunnel, and then that wind would just keep blowing through the lobby, and it was really nice. Anyway, that's what made me think it's not windy like Cancun, because that was windy every day, at least in the afternoon. I don't think I went in the lobby much during the day. We'd get up and go to the pool and be there all day. Go get something to eat, but it was in the restaurant that was like counter service, so you could be in your bathing suit or whatever, throw a cover up on and go eat and come back, or get some food and bring it back to the pool area and eat it. And then around 5 o'clock, we'd go in and we'd all shower and get ready and get dressed up and go to one of the sit-down meals. I love an all-inclusive hotel. Just makes you feel special, because we don't spend money on, we don't go out to eat much. It's just not something that, some people, that's their thing, but I'm not really a foodie, so it's usually lost on me, unfortunately. So it's not worth it. I'm just as happy to get a pizza from the local pizza place. And I rarely even do that, I'll be honest. And by rarely, I mean like once every 5 years I do it. It's usually a frozen pizza that's in the DiGiorno or something. Oh, I got glue on my face. That goes into the oven if I want pizza. Or we pick one up from Costco, because they just do have good pizza there. It's huge. They have them pre-made and you can cook them yourself. But we did that once or twice, and that was it, because they're so big it didn't fit in my oven, and I didn't have a pan that big to hold it, so we'd have to cut them in half and put half on one pan on the bottom rack and half on the top, and it just didn't have the same pizza oven taste to it when it was done. A pizza oven is a pizza oven. It's designed to be a pizza oven. It's that wood-fired kind of taste to it. So these little pieces off of here. So after I finished the mirror, I moved my car out so I could bring the trash can in. And I saw that there was an Amazon package. And then I was on Facebook Marketplace because I was looking for a taller ladder so I could hang the curtains in this room. I'm on the fence about that now. I'm thinking maybe I won't take them all the way to the ceiling. Maybe I'll just take them up as high as I took that one. And then that way I couldn't just be on the third step and use the fourth step as like my, I don't want to be on that top step without some sort of feeling of protection, especially when your hands are both going to be up and you're going to be drilling and using them. And I mean, the balance, I mean, when you get older, you don't have the same balance you once did. I can tell my balance is not the same. I'm aware. These corners are going to be the bane of my existence. I'm convinced I'm going to cut too much at one point, and then you're going to see the corner is going to have like a little open spot of white plastic, because that's what happens so much on the wallpaper. I think everything is perfect, and then I go to put it up and I realize, what? How could it be shy? What is going on? Okay, that one worked out good. Yay. And some more of this glue. This is going to be the most boring video. I apologize. So the one person said she had a picture that she was asking like $70 for. And then she knocked it down to 60. And then she knocked it down to 30. And I said, like, it was just like trees, like scenery. It was just basically trees, looked like a painting, but it was fairly large. So it looked like it was on a canvas that was like mounted on wood. You know how they have those. I said, will you do 15 for this? I could pick it up today. And she's like, yeah, but I'm right in the process of moving. You have to come today. And I won't be here this evening or something like that. And I asked where she was. And I'm like, oh, it's all the way out where I told everybody else it's by my church. Everybody's by my church. They all live out there. It's not that far away. It's a 15-minute drive. But I just figured on Sunday morning, if I go to the early service, then I can get around easier before the traffic really picks up. And I had other projects to do today, so I didn't want to stop just to pick up stuff that I didn't need to pick up. So I've been telling everybody, oh, I'll get you on Sunday. Oh, I'll get you on Sunday. Now, so I have 3 things to pick up on Sunday, and this girl was out there too. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to go get hers. I was going to go back and contact the other people. Things change. I can get it now. I'm like, nope. Everyone said Sunday's fine. Jenny, you just stick to the plan. You're going to go get them on Sunday. You're just going to drive out and you're going to get this one picture for $15. And while we're at it, we'll take the stuff back at Lowe's because it's kind of out that way too. I had to do it anyway. So that was good. I went to Lowe's. I got stain. And I got the roller. The guy recommended a roller to put it on because he's like, what are you going to use it for? I'm like, do you recommend a rag, a foam brush, or a regular brush? And he's like, what exactly are you staining? I'm like, it's raw wood. It's a step or 2 from my garage into my house. He's like, I would do a 4-inch foam roller. That's what you're going to do. And that'll get into that corner and that too. That's going to be easiest. Then you just throw the foam thing away when you're done. I said, okay. He's like, some people try to reuse them and all that. He was like, but why? I'm like, you're right. Why? Who wants to do that? So I have another project ready for me to go. And they had these little things of stain that were only $5. I hope it's enough for that stair. So Home Depot was good. There was a girl. I first did my returns. And I'm waiting to do my returns, and there's another lady and a guy down there, and one of the employees was trying to squeeze by. And they were like, excuse me, and I'm looking at her, and she had some facial deformities. She was really short, little bit overweight. And listening to her voice when she's like, oh, excuse me, can I get through here? I thought that she may be mentally impaired on some level. That's what it looked like. And kind of putting it together with some of the facial deformities and everything else, I thought, oh, good for them. We've got employees here too that are given jobs that might have mental challenges. So she comes around to the return counter there, and she was at the other register with the gal who was returning for those 2 people. I was at a different register standing there waiting. So I couldn't hear it all, the conversation. But the girl who was talking to her just kept talking. And she was looking at what she was doing. She wasn't even looking at the girl. So I was like, well, she completely understands what's going on. God bless her. Now, I will say, I was miffed initially because as she told this couple, excuse me, the lady was like she snarled almost at her and moved out of the way. The girl said, excuse me, she's trying to get through. And this woman in her cart was taking up the space. It really irked me. Really irked me. I've worked with people with special needs my entire life. So maybe I have an extra soft spot for them. I don't know. But I did not like the way that lady handled herself, let's say. First time I've seen somebody disappoint me down here. I mean, people are people everywhere, right? But it's the first time I've encountered it. So the girl goes in the back and she's talking, and I'm like, well, she's obviously has high comprehension because this other lady, all I could see was her mouth talking. And then the lady who was helping, she was just finishing up with that couple, and then she points down to me and she says something about that return first. I thought she was telling her, I need to do that return first, and then I'll help you with whatever the next task is you're going to do. Well, this girl, I was going to say comes waddling down, but I mean, is that rude to say? Anyway, she makes her way down to where my thing is, and she's like, logs in, and she's like, you have a return? In kind of a distorted speech pattern. And I said, yes, I do. And I thought, oh, I think I totally misjudged this girl. She's going to start doing my return. Clearly, she's not cognitively impaired. And she was really sweet. She couldn't find some of them. She goes, are all these screws the same? She's like, oh, they're different heights. They shouldn't. I go, oh, I didn't know they were different. They should all be the same. The guy, he picked them out for me. I was returning all the rest of my nuts and bolts from the chairs. All my returns had to do with the chairs. And there were a lot. I had 2 different receipts. I had them in 2 different bags. I go, I think I have these organized. I think I looked at it, but it's been a while since I've looked at it. So you might want to just double check my work. Did I put, oh yeah, I did. Oh. I'm going to have to make sure that this side is smooth. I'm so worried about this side being tucked under that the actual side you see. Press it on the island. So she starts returning it, and she was like troubleshooting and figuring it all out. And I felt bad that I judged her. I mean, I understood why I judged her, but I still felt bad. Mostly I felt bad for her because I'm like, her whole life, everyone's going to be judging her like that. I know better than to not judge, and I judged. Or had a preconceived idea of who she was and what her abilities or capabilities were or weren't. It was a humbling experience for me. So that was my Home Depot experience. Nice guy in the paint area helped me. Nice girl at the counter helped me. It all went well. Oh, then I'm checking out, and I realized I had very few things in my cart. I'm like, I guess I'm not getting the wood to do the wall and all the stuff. I really didn't have to even get a whole cart. I wasn't sure at first what supplies I needed. Oh, I also bought paint to do the frames of those pictures. I got spray paint. I figured it'll have the best finish rather than the rollers trying to get into all the corners and everything. We'll see. I hope I have enough spray paint. That's another project we have to do before I go. I'd love to have those pictures hung and the curtains up by this weekend. I have to also install an entire irrigation system. There's that. And then little things like this that are taking up my time. Okay, I think that is flat enough. Not perfect, but they're okay. And then we'll start putting some stuff on here. So weigh it down. I'm gonna have to clean that paintbrush out. Did you hear that sound? I think it's the door again. I had to go in there to get this larger screwdriver because I needed to fix that toilet seat that was shifting. I made it tighter. I made it better, but then I sat on it again to work on putting the toilet paper holder back on, and I felt like it shifted a little bit. Now, I think most of the shifting is coming from the lid shifting over the seat. Not many people in the bathroom are gonna sit on the toilet without lifting the lid first. So it's probably gonna be okay. I'm very excited. I have one more piece of that chicken left over to eat for lunch today, and I saved some of the mashed potatoes. I made that package of mashed potatoes. Did I tell you I forgot to make it for my daughter and son-in-law? And that morning I got up and I was getting the pieces out and putting them in a pan for them. I got 5 pieces for them, and then I had 2 or 3 for me. 2. I had 2 for me. So there were 7 pieces altogether. How could there be 7 pieces in 2 packages? That doesn't make sense. Maybe there were 8. Maybe I ate it. Oh, I did. I ate a piece the night I made it. And then I had 2 pieces left over. Okay. It just seemed odd because I had 2 packages. How did I end up with an odd number of chicken? I figured it out. It takes me a minute, but eventually I get there. The memories, the synapses, they start firing again. She's back. She's back. Here we are. I know what's going on. Sure, I do. And then put this heavy Xfinity modem, which I suppose I need to call Xfinity and figure out what to do with it before I leave, and then they charge me and I say I'm not going to be back for another month or so. I think this goes with it. I should keep it together. I ended up not using these. I didn't save the bag they came in, but I don't think I need to. Oh, this is it. All right, I can put them back in here. They seem so small. I guess it does fit in there. It says 10 milliliter glue applicator. Tours, I guess. Liquid dispensing. New, made in China. This looks like it came from Temu, didn't it? I did not order these from Temu. And then they had all the little syringes and all the needles that you can use with them. I ended up just ripping that wallpaper off and re-gluing it and putting it down again. So I went and picked up the picture. It's a decent size, hard to find her house. She's like on this main road. I don't like it when there's a house on a main road because you have to slow down to find addresses and there's people behind you. 55 miles an hour on the road, but it was like a main road, but it was a country road. Anyway, I did find it eventually. It was very interesting. It was like a gravel driveway, and she said, I'm the first house, white house, blue shutters on the gravel driveway. So I started going, and I didn't realize you normally have to pull to the back and then turn around and there's some parking behind. I'm looking at it and I'm seeing this house and there's this long gravel road and clearly way at the end there's another house. So this one must have been like a rental of theirs or something, or maybe they lived in it and then built in the back and they're renting it out. Anyway, they had all these campers and trailers and everything on the one side of the road and then the house on the other side. So I pulled up as far as I could until I didn't even see that street way in the back. She have to go back a ways to turn around and see the driveway behind her. But I'm like, just stopped in the middle of this gravel driveway. It's a one-way drive. But I just stopped and then got out of the car and I heard her open the front door right away. So I was like, okay, she saw me. And just walked across all the grass. It's a big, huge front yard to get to the front door because there was no walkway. It was just this house like in the middle of this big grassy area that had trees and that too, but like no sidewalks, no walkway to get to the house. Well, the house was set back ways. It wouldn't matter if there were sidewalks. So she came out and she had it. I'm like, oh, that's great. And I said, where are you moving to? And she said, East Nashville. I'm like, oh, you're going into the town. She's like, yeah, I'm a musician. And then I just want to be closer to everything that I do there. I'm like, oh. And I don't know why in my head right away I thought she had to play an instrument for musician. I didn't think singer, but I said, what do you play? She's like, well, I play piano most of the time, but I also play guitar, but I also sing. And I write songs. I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah. She's like, I've got a couple songs out and an LP. Did she say an LP or I don't even know what they're called. Used to be just called a record out. Anyway, I got some singles and then also a LP or something. I don't know. I'm like, good for you. I said, well, I'll look up your name and listen to you. She's like, okay, thanks. Just trying to make it in Nashville. These kids. So I was excited about the picture. I like looked at it briefly. I'm like, oh, it's nice. It was heavy. I went to put it in the car. I saw it had a sticker on the back, $120. I'm like, okay, it was a good deal for $15. I got it home, and as soon as I brought it in here and I looked at it in the light here, somehow it was just different. I'm like, I don't know that I like it as much. And then I looked at the original picture, and they look very different. The original picture looks very black and white. This is very cream and off-white, which is okay. Again, I'm going to dye my shades here because I don't want bright white, but it's almost yellowy. And then it tended to look old because of that, like, and not old like, oh, it's vintage, but old like, I don't know. To me, it just felt maybe a little old lady-ish. Like, I don't know if I want to put this above my bed now. So I held it above the bed, and it really didn't go well with the shade. So right away I took the lamps apart. I'm like, well, I gotta take care of these shades. Then I'll hang it. But I went into the guest bedroom and I held it up there. I'm like, maybe it'll look better in here because that's a little bit more country. And so like the colors have more, there's a little bit more wood on the frame of the bed and everything. No, it still had that same vibe to me. So then I held it up on the wall where my little sitting bench is, where I put my shoes on, and the little bench against the wall that's at the end of the room. And I liked it there. I'm like, this is where it's going to go. And as I'm looking at the bed, I'm thinking it feels too old for the bed and it makes the room look too old, but it complements, the colors do complement because there's some greens in there that really match the green of the West Elm comforter. So it does have the colors of the room in it, but just not enough white. You know what else is interesting? The picture has like some texture in it, some paint texture in it, and it's white paint actually that was in 2 streaks in the bottom, which was like a reflection of something. And then up in the trees where like the leaves are, there's some white that's flat in there too. I wonder if somebody else thought this needs to not be so yellow and they just took paint themselves and did it on the canvas. I don't know. But again, $15. It's going to be fine. I'm going to hang it up before I leave. I'm going to hang it up above the shoe thing. I don't think I'm going to end up with pictures above my bed before I go. That's okay. But I now, looking at it, know that maybe I could do 4 pictures or 2 pictures, but whatever pictures I hang above my bed, I want black frames. And I think that's going to look good with the black lights that are there. So now I know. It's a $15 lesson. It's okay. I can resell it for $15 too. But I'm going to put it on the wall. I'm going to put it up and I'm going to put it where I told you. So it wasn't a total waste of a trip because I had to go to Lowe's anyway. So I get back from Lowe's, I opened up the Amazon package. All 3 of the hoses that I wanted came today. Different brand. It wasn't Bionic Steel brand, but these are the ones that would come next day. And they were steel too. They just weren't, it's not as like, as seen on TV, Bionic Steel. It's just like a mom and pop company that's like, if these don't work out, whether you need a replacement or whether you need a refund, contact us directly, please. Don't go through Amazon. So hopefully they'll all work out. So I put the one out there. Y'all, I waited too long. When I first got here 2 months ago now, when I first got the property, I was pulling up the sod and pulling rocks out from underneath it, especially like all around here. It was very easy to pull up the sod because it was put down in just squares and they were only like this big. It was like a foot by foot squares were put out. And so it was really easy to pull up. It is no longer easy. Those roots are taking root. So I need a shovel. I was just at Home Depot. not really. I was at Lowe's. And I thought about it while I was at Lowe's, and I thought, no, I can pull up that sod. It pulls up so easily. I don't need them to be buried deep in the ground. I just need it to be underneath the sod. And there's so many areas of sod that are over big hunks of cement that was splattered from when they, I don't know, put the cement pad out in the back, I guess, extra cement from the machine that was like left over. There's huge rocks like this big. There's lots of smaller rocks in that. And they just put the sod on everything. But I mean, the roots can't go too low because there's concrete under a lot of this property, especially anything that's closer to the house. But I'm now at the point that I can't even really tell where one square began and the other one ended. They're like blending together in that. So I got out my little kid shovel. Remember my shovel I was so proud of? It was only $5 from Lowe's. I later on saw the label on it and it said kids shovel. And I thought I just need it to break it up along the line. So then I'll just pull it up, pull the sod up. That little shovel keeps bending this way and then bending that way and then bending this way. I'm out there like a fool going, no, this isn't working. I did a brief Facebook look for shovels as I did yesterday. I may have even done it this morning. That might have been what made me start to go on Facebook. I don't remember. Nothing really. I did have on my list of things to do to go to the rehome store because I saw that they had shovels before. The shovels I remember, though, were the flat edge ones. They weren't ones that had like the pointed tip, which is easier for digging in. But I thought maybe I'll go to it. But I was kind of on the other side of the freeway. And then I thought, no, I'll be able to just pull it up. And I got home and started working on it. I can't do it. This project is going on and on and on and on. Now we're going to start getting close to the weekend where everyone's going to be home again. Remember last weekend? I'm like, I'm not putting it in this weekend. I don't want anyone to see me. It's Thursday. I don't have my shovel. Is it coming? It better be coming tomorrow. If not, I'm making another trip out to a building store. Arriving tomorrow. Okay. So yeah, so I paid a lot more than I wanted to for it, but that's okay. Oh, the other thing I did was just buy a tall ladder for myself. So yep. So this is my splurge day. This is like crunch time. These are things I need. I'm just ordering it and I'm just getting it. So I paid $29 for that shovel. It's probably $25 at Lowe's. There you go. But it's coming here tomorrow. And I'll have to get back in the car and drive back out there again. There's a lot of traffic in that area anyway. And how much did I pay? I paid a lot for the ladder. A lot. A lot. And I just thought it is. I might be able to return the other one. I'm going to look. I think I may have ordered it on Amazon. Maybe not. Maybe it was Temu. I'll have to look into the Temu local delivery return policy. $130 on the ladder. You got to do what you got to do. I got all the curtains for this entire room for $100. So I'm justifying it. $130 for the ladder. It's like 6 steps and it has the guardrail at the top and they're not the small steps. Like I was ready. I was looking all around Gallatin just for a normal ladder. I'm like, I'm going to go back to the small steps. That's fine. I'll make it work. I'll figure it out. As long as it's tall enough that I feel like I'm supported and it's stable and there's at least another step or something that I feel like have that protection, I'll do it. I couldn't find one. Everybody wants $70, $100, $80, $90. So $130 for a brand new one. Not bad, really, now that I think of it that way. I could not find one. I feel like those ladders were showing up on Marketplace, right, left, and all over the place back when I just wanted a 2- and 3-step ladder. No, there's all these big ladders kept showing up. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I don't need that. I don't need that. You know, for like $10 and everything. No, not anymore. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly. I don't know. I did realize today this stopper that I said, I'm just going to put in a work order. So it was sitting on the windowsill where I hung the curtains. Oh, I did that this morning. I hung the curtains, the plum curtains in the front. I don't know if I love them, but they're going to stay. They're going to stay. I'm feeling like it's too dark now. I don't even have the blinds up yet. But, I mean, we'll figure it out. It's okay. It's okay. That's what's going. The rest of the curtains are all packed up and over there, ready to go back. Now, that being said, I could put one of them up. No, we don't need to have cream everywhere, Jenny. You can have plum in one room. Have plum. It's fine. Okay, we're doing plum. Plum it is. They're hung. I haven't steamed them yet, but they're hung. They are about a half an inch off the ground, higher than I would have liked them. They're definitely not like just dusting or touching the ground. I can move the brackets that I put in down about a half an inch too, and still have the top of it covered. That's about all I have, not even half an inch. I can move them down about a quarter of an inch so I can make them look closer to the ground. That might look better. We'll see. Maybe in the future. Not on this trip. They are what they are. I don't even know if they're going to get steamed. I might just get my spray bottle and just spray them with water. Just let them hang it out and see when I get back if they look better. That might be what I do. All right. So while this is drying, let's do some boiling of water. Let me set you on my shades as we do this. Okay. So now I have to wait and not do anything. It did start to rain while I was out there too, but it was just like a light sprinkling. I was just like, yeah, it's rain, because I'm not really doing a great job watering here. What I really need to do, now that I got these 3 cords, I wonder if that's all my cords. I feel like I ordered more than that. I got a 20-foot. Oh yeah, because I know I ordered at least one 5-foot, because I didn't have a 5-foot before. And that is in here. So there's still more that are coming today. We'll wait. As soon as everything I have is here, I am going to... Why did it turn off? That's weird. Oh, I know why. It is kind of a smart oven. I'm so used to using the front burner that I had the front burner on. It knows if there's nothing on there, and it automatically turns off when there's not something on there. There's a downside to that, because if I take something off and I'm trying to drain something or do something and then put it back, oftentimes it's turned off by the time I turn it back. It's like a little too good. It turns off a little too quick, but better safe than sorry. I guess it's the vibration of the pan on the stove that's making that noise. You hear that hum? Because if I open it's not like whistling, it's not part of the water inside, because when I open the little spout, it stayed. When I lifted the pot off, it stopped. So it's not like it's just the oven making the noise in and of itself. So it's the combination of my kettle on this oven that is making a odd sound that I don't remember in the past. But listen, I have to have them come out and fix the little seal on the oven anyway. If there's a problem with it, better that I wait, because I can't schedule that until they come back. I lit a candle. I lit this candle because I was using that vinegar smelling, well, it had vinegar in it, the cleaner that was ruining my countertop, and I didn't realize at the time, don't use vinegar on the countertop. Even though I have right here the sticker I haven't taken off yet. You know what it says? Do not use bleach, vinegar, or acids or abrasives. Well, that's the last thing. I know I had been reading it. It says clean with a mild soap or stone cleaner. Wipe up spills quickly to prevent staining. Oil and red wine may stain. Natural stone needs to be sealed right away, and then again based on the sealer's manufactured recommendation. And then it says do not use bleach, vinegar, acids, or abrasives. I think I remember the bleach part of it and anything abrasive, but vinegar is just like an all-purpose cleaner, isn't it? It's like the best thing for mirrors and glass and... Anyway, I screwed it up. So the day that I was using that, and Fred was here, one of the Fred days, I realized there was a vinegar smell in the air, so I lit this candle. And then didn't pay attention to the fact I moved the plant away from it, but it didn't matter. Look how the branches all started wilting like a real plant. But it's just because it's a plastic and it got too warm. So I guess I need to like reheat them and then spread them out so they can dry, because they look like they're dying. Maybe I should leave it like that because it looks more real. Like a real plant would have certain branches that are dying. I don't know. I gotta go get my tea bag. We'll do 10. Is that too much? I don't know. You see my flabby arms? When did that all of a sudden happen? Like in the past 2 to 3 years, my body has just turned into old lady body. It was toned, it was fit. I didn't do it intentionally. I just was toned and fit. And then I wasn't. And I knew it was coming. I told you this before. I have most of the characteristics from my dad's side of the family, and that grandma had the flabbiest arms ever. I mean, they hung down low. If that happens to me, I'm in trouble. That's why I was buying all those shirts that had a little bit longer sleeves, so it'll come down like not 3/4 length, but like long sleeves. Okay. I think I found one that is going to work out pretty good. Is it perfect? No. Is it good enough? Yes. So while this is boiling, we're multitasking. I'm not going to cut it as short as I did last time. They're already pretty short on the sides, but I'll make the top and bottom piece a little bit longer. All right. This is why I saved the wallpaper. I thought, well, that's not true. I just lied to you. It's not why I saved the wallpaper to do these. I forgot about covering these. At one point I thought about it, but then I'd forgotten about it. But I thought if there's one little spot where the wallpaper dries and then shrinks or something and I need to put it in, because I had to do that last night in 2 spots where I had to cut like a tiny little sliver and get glue on it and stick it in a crack. Hopefully nobody will notice. I don't know. It sounds like boiling, doesn't it? I noticed on the shower curtain that I dyed that there are a couple little spots where it is slightly darker than others. And I think that is because when I soaked it in there, I soaked it with the tea bags still in the bucket, which now that I say that out loud sounds stupid. That's what I did. I think I thought, oh, this will still give it more color while it's in there. It'll keep seeping into the, but I think what happened is certain spots were touching the actual tea bags. Live and learn. Information for all of you if you decide you want to soak things and make them cream or brown or anything along that line. Put a little wallpaper paste on the wallpaper. This one has like a dark tree color. And on here, and then I think I'm also going to need my seam glue. Try to make this as smooth as possible. This worked out pretty good. See, sometimes things work out. I need to acknowledge it and appreciate it when it happens. The fact that this isn't going to be perfect the way it lines up, but this tree is right around this area. Might it look like I'm just making the tree have extra leaves? Maybe. That's fine. Who doesn't want lots of trees? Lots of trees. Who doesn't want lots of leaves on their trees? Nobody. Everybody wants lots of leaves on their trees. That's the answer. Okay, lined up pretty good. Let's rinse this out. Again, no wash tub, so it feels weird. Rinse out glue in a sink. I just feel like as it goes down the drain that like somewhere under my house, there's like glue accumulating somewhere. Just doesn't feel right. But time for the seam glue. I probably could just use super glue here, Gorilla Glue on the back. I got the Gorilla Glue out because before I streamed you, I wanted to say that I also put that one piece on the bottom of my lamp, but I didn't. I got the Gorilla Glue out though. It's somewhere. I think it's sitting on my little two-step step ladder around the corner. Never got it upstairs. It's okay. I'm picking up the very first one is the one that the lady's like, oh, I wanted to get it before church at like 7:45 in the morning. Oh, that's too early. And I'm like, oh no. She's old. Meanwhile, she could be younger than me. She's just not as familiar with Facebook, but. So I'm going after church. It's 9:30 and 9:45. She only wants cash too, so there's no excuse, like a Venmo excuse or anything. Anyway, there's shoes. I bought more shoes down here than I've ever bought secondhand in my life. Although I do buy a lot of secondhand shoes. I only draw the line at undergarments. Socks, underpants, bras. Always brand new. Other than that, everything else I'm wearing could be from, I'm wearing a pair of New Balance black tennis shoes right now, and they were thrifted. All right, this feels like it's getting dark enough. So let me get these tea bags out in case I want to keep them. Put them in a bowl. I think that's going to be hot. So let's get them out with a little strainer thing here. Put them in the bowl. It's feeling dark enough. I wanted to put them both in at the exact same time just to have them the exact same color, but I don't know that I'm going to be able to do that. Did I get them all? I guess I should have counted. I can't see all the way to the bottom because it's too dark at the bottom. I think I got them all. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. Okay. I think I need a little bit more water in there though. The catches with these shades is that they're bigger than like the ones that are going to go into the bathroom. They're not this big. This is the one. I like this. It looks like it's like a metal. My laptop is sitting on the other shades, but here I can show you the difference between the two sizes. Make it balance on one. It does make a difference in the room. These were they were too small. They looked too little. They got lost on the wall. I like these better though. So I think it's going to be cute in the bathroom down there. I think it's a good backup. When I first started this channel, I thought I was going to be doing all these projects to share with everybody. But you can't see a gosh darn thing that I'm doing right now, can you? Nope. So much for that idea. I'm just cutting corners away to make this fit. This is right about that time where I'm like, remember when my girlfriend offered to come down and help me out with stuff? Why did I not take her up on that? I'll tell you why, because there's part of me that just feels guilty that people are going to be bored. And I didn't know how much time I'd be spending at my daughter's house. I don't want her to feel like she always had to go. And then I don't know if my daughter would always want to have mom's friend there all the time. I don't know that she would really care, but you know, I don't know. I'm always worried what people, I don't want to offend anyone. I worry what people think. It's like I need to get over this kind of stuff. Just live my life, but I've always been the one to make sure everyone's comfortable and everything's going okay. It's a positive trait in some ways, but it also can work against you. I did spend a lot of time last night with the X-Acto knife going around the toilet and the sink pedestal and the corners of the floor and scraping off residual glue, residual caulking, residual paint. It was a process, but the process is complete. So, and then I washed the floor a little bit. I mean, I just wiped it with a rag, but to get all the dust up and the extra debris and everything. So I do need to go over it with a good soap and water and scrub the floor very well. But my 3 rags were already yucky. I think I have 1 rag left that I took in there. Yeah, it's on the stool. So I was going to do the laundry today and then get the rags again so that I could start using them to scrub the floor and make sure, because I'm sure there's even more glue. The glue wasn't for me. Well, maybe some of it was, a little bit. It's just everything that was left over from when they did the finishing work, the unfinished finishing work of this place. Oh, the sun came out. It does look really lush and green. Why is it? It does seem like it's more green than before, but maybe it's just a reflection of like the water on the water pellet, like droplets with the sun hitting it on the green that makes it, like I swear back at home, I know everything gets more green after a rain, but according to the agent here, the grass that they use down here in Tennessee just dies when it dies. It doesn't just come back to life with the rain. I mean, I would imagine it becomes more green with the rain, but all my little dry patches and dead patches, I think are dead. And some of them, I think it's because there's just concrete or rocks underneath and they just didn't take and the roots were too shallow. Well, part of the reason why my roots are taking so well, and I need a shovel now to pull up the sod, is because I didn't water very often. And the one thing I learned is you need to stress your roots if you want them to grow good so that they dig down deeper because they'll look for more water down. Live and learn. And therefore, you are only supposed to water your lawn twice a week. Twice a week, 1 inch of water, half an inch both times. There you go. If you want to measure it, you put your sprinkler out and you put a little cup. They had certain things that were certain measurements, but you could just get like a cup from measuring cup, for half an inch and then see how much is in there. Okay, I think this is enough. I'm nervous. Okay, 148, because I want them to be the same. I want to put them in for the same amount of time. Oh, it's not quite. Dang it. About 1 more tea kettle full to completely cover it. What are we going to talk about when I go back to Ohio? It's just going to be getting ready for my retreat. Stand up. I've been standing. Get it together, Apple Watch. That was 48, right? We're already 2 minutes in. I think I'm going to do 5 minutes. I'm going to take a look at it. My stomach is growling. Did you hear that? I haven't had my stomach growl in ages. Uh-oh, the seam is coming up. The color's better, but it's not the color I want it yet. Uh-oh. 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 Oh no. It's starting to buckle. The whole, oh gosh. All right. That is better. We took off the bright white. Now we need to make sure, maybe when it dries, it'll just be fine. Do you see how it's buckling, separating from the, at first I thought it was, because, oh gosh. I'm thinking I'm all so smart, and I'm not. Okay. Try to get these bubbles out. It's because the seam opened up. Always an issue. Didn't we say today there was something that wasn't an issue? I put the toilet paper holder back up. Same one that was there before. Like, how many issues can you really have from such a situation? But nevertheless, we're still going to celebrate it as a victory that nothing went wrong. This, we cannot say nothing went wrong. This is not good. No bueno. They do seem to be coming out. Just keep moving it over until I get to the seam. Get all these bubbles out. So one I just did, this is the original. Okay, somehow on the screen, maybe you can see better there. I was gonna say, in real life, they look significantly different. But, all right, I'm getting nervous, but we gotta do the other one. How long was that? It was like 2 minutes, right? Okay, we'll let it dry. Maybe that one little seam will still come out. But either way, this is closer to the back side. This is a fail. This is a fail, but we have to do another one. Here we go. Wait, let's stir it up and make sure. I do feel like that there were, oh, you know what I think you're supposed to do? What I forgot? You're supposed to get this wet first to help it be more, because I feel like if I look at it a certain way, there's certain spots that might be a little bit darker. This one's taking longer than the last one. I talk on this channel about my other channel, Senior Perspective on Sister Wives, which is really my main channel and what got me into vlogging. But then I started another one for everything that wasn't Sister Wives related, but was reality TV. And it's called Reality TV Breakdown. I should change that name again, because I obviously do other things on that channel, because on that channel we have been reading, or we read, Tom Bower's book, Revenge, which is written about Harry and Meghan. And that's what kind of started me down the whole Harry and Meghan journey. We talk about them every now and then. It would come up in passing, and people are like, have you read the book? I'm like, I heard about the book. And I'm like, let's all read it together. So I bought the book, and chapter by chapter, it's on there. Now, it's not a straight read. There is commentary. There's me stopping and talking. Some people don't like that. They let me know often, will you just stop giving your opinion and read the book? No, I can't. That's that's a copyright infringement. And I can have my channel taken down. So I will read a couple pages and then we'll talk about it. Sometimes I'll go to the chat, see what people are saying. We have a couple viewers from the UK that chime in, one specifically from England. So it's nice. Well, Tom Bauer wrote another book and he just came out with it. So I am going to be reading that book. It's called Betrayal. I ordered it and it's coming from some book place in the UK. But I got the book $10 cheaper, so. Oh, wait. Goodreads? Was that the name of it? No, it starts with book something. Book Sense? I don't know. Anyway, some place that sells books. So it has shipped, which means, I was going to say maybe next week we'll start, but I got a big scrapbooking retreat coming up that I really need to focus on, and I haven't been focusing on it here. I really have to buckle down and do that. So we read it on Sunday nights, and I'd be at my retreat on a Sunday night. So I don't want to begin and then stop, and I also don't like having to interrupt myself at the retreat. I already do some other live streaming while I'm there, but if I can control it, I'd prefer not to. So we are going to start reading it. I mean, it's coming from Europe anyway, so it might take a minute to get here. As soon as my retreat's over. So second week of May, we will, Sunday night on Reality TV Breakdown, start reading Tom's new book on Harry and Meghan, which basically takes us from when the Megxit, when they left England, up into pretty much current time as to what he could get in before having to send it to the publisher. So there will be some obviously more recent stuff that's happened, but basically speaking, it's up to current time. Okay. This is like getting bubbles out of your screen protector or out of the film that I put on the windows. I feel like this is the third time I've had to squeegee out bubbles. Well, also out of wallpaper, right? Then many times I've had to squeegee bubbles out since I've been down here. Let me address the issue of why I'm down here, because somebody did say, did I miss a video about why you're doing this townhome? Like, no, but I was not conscientious of new people who might find the channel when I started this. I guess I was just assuming it was going to be people who were Sister Wives fans who follow that other channel, who were always like, I love it when you tell stories about your life. And I'm like, well, maybe they'll follow me here. And many of them have. Many of you are what we call sister friends. But there are new people too. And so for the new people to my life, or to those who have zero interest in Sister Wives and don't want to watch that channel, I have had that channel for a couple years, and then started, as I mentioned, Reality TV Breakdown to do some other shows. Life has gotten very busy for me, as you can tell on this channel. And so I have not done a good job of keeping up with either one of those since the show when in the off season. So when the season is going, I am all in and it's all consuming. But by the grace of God, this townhome and my grandson's birth happened when Sister Wives ended. Last year, Sister Wives went till May. So I'm very happy that this one ended early, because they normally would end at the end of December, first week of January. I think this one ended in February. So the reason I have this townhome is that my oldest daughter just had a baby boy. So when we found out she was expecting, she came up for Labor Day weekend, which is also my dad's birthday. My dad's birthday is the 3rd of September, so it's always around Labor Day weekend. And so all the kids were coming up for Labor Day weekend, and nobody knew. She's lucky. Everybody was there for Labor Day weekend. And I said, oh, no, it's good because it's Grandpa's birthday, and Grandpa was going to be 89. So, we don't know how many birthdays we still have. So it was great that all the grandkids came up. So they came up, and then my daughter gave me a book. I was making some dip that night, like a chocolate dip, desserty kind of snacky thing after we got back the first day they were there, before we went over to my parents' house the next day. And I was standing there making this dip, and Gabrielle walked up to me, and she's like, here, Mom, I have this for you. And there's no reason to give me a gift. It was nowhere near my birthday. It wasn't Christmas. It wasn't Mother's Day. And I was kind of confused, and I took it, and like instantly I just thought, no, because I didn't think they were trying yet. Like I thought they were going to do another vacation in September and then start trying after that. I'm trying to think why I thought that. I can't remember exactly. But I do know that she needed to be working at the job. She had gotten a new job, and she had to be at the job for a full year in order for her maternity benefits to kick in. So I thought, well, they're going to wait until for sure the maternity benefits would kick in. They didn't. My daughter said that her and my son-in-law would have been talking about it, and they'd been talking about it, and then they both decided. I know this does not look like I did anything to them, but I did. This is definitely a different color. So they're still white-ish. Let it dry. Let it dry. Let it dry. That's it. That's it. I've seen people spray paint them before. Now I know why. Because the seams of the fabric might come off if you decide to soak it and dye it yourself. Why did that happen? Did you hear that? That was like a smoke detector. All I did was set this on the stove, like in between the burners, but I had it there before. Just want to make sure there was no smoke anywhere. Last thing I need is the fire suppression system to go off, right? I'm just going to leave this on the counter. I think it was a coincidence that it happened after I set it back down in the same spot after I dumped out the water. But yeah, just in case. All right, I am going to finish. This is what I always do. This is why I go all day and I don't eat. Because I'm not a procrastinator by nature. And so I naturally like to complete projects before I move on to something else, which has been a bit of a challenge here because I have about 5 projects, minimum 5 projects in process. But I don't, and eating is like a luxury. That's what you do for fun. That's what you do when you're downtime. So it gives me pause to plan out eating and cooking and everything. I just think, well, let me do this first, and let me do that first. So I got a big bucket of tea sitting here. If these things weren't soaking in it, I drink it. Cleaned out that container. That's a lot of tea. I am half tempted to put it into that pitcher, put it in the refrigerator, and then just drink it with somebody. How bad can it be? How bad can it be? Tea had fabric soaking in it. There's no glue or anything. I don't know. Is that the cheap side of me? Could be the lazy side of me that I don't want to make more tea when here's like 6 containers of that worth sitting right here. Okay. I'm a little concerned about that noise. What if something like that happens when I'm not here? What if it does, Jenny? What are you going to do? I don't know. Okay, I've decided I'm not going to complete this because you know what? It needs to be dry for me to cut that. Otherwise, wallpaper starts to slip and then I'm going to have issues going forward. I had a lot of those situations when I was trying to cut seams like along the baseboards and that, and the wallpaper was still like way too wet and then the wallpaper wanted to tear, even if I had a very sharp knife. So we're going to let that dry. Like maybe we finish it tomorrow dry. But if nothing else, wait till tonight dry. And it is food time. So I've got my mashed potatoes. I think it was garlic something, mashed potatoes. And sometimes people's food doesn't look good on screen. I don't know if I should show you. My chicken. I'll cut it up before I put it in the microwave to heat it up. Delish. Thanks for hanging out with me while I did a couple projects. I'm going to eat, and then we'll jump right back in. When I get the bathroom done, I'll show you. Oh, I never finished my story. So the townhome, my kids were all up for Labor Day weekend under the guise of it's Grandpa's 89. We need to come up for his birthday. So they all came into town. Nobody was living with me at the time. So everyone lived, most of them, well, 2 of my kids and then one spouse lived 2 hours away, different directions. And then my daughter and her spouse down here were 8 hours away. So they all came up, it was great. And then she handed me that book and that present. And there was a part of me that was like, I paused. I just like froze. And then I opened it and she told me I didn't say anything. I just started to cry. And then I gave her a big hug. I said, what did I say? She goes, I don't think you said anything. I was so shocked. I wasn't expecting it at all. But her handing me that present made me think, this can't be her. Because that's how I told my mom that I was pregnant with her. I had a book that I had wrapped up and given to her. So like this was all very deja vu-y, but I'm like, but she's not trying to get pregnant yet. Anywho, at the end of that weekend, my husband said, I said, oh, how are we going to work it out to come? We were talking about when I was going to come visit and we'll have to do a shower. And when the baby's born, well, do you want me in the house or should I stay somewhere else in that? And then all of a sudden my husband's like, well, we should probably get a rental place maybe that we buy. And then we can rent it out when we're not there. Why don't you look for something? And so he was in the other room. So we were in the kitchen. I opened up the laptop and we started looking at places. I'm like, there are some places that we could kind of afford. Literally, I was looking for things that were like 2/3 of the price of this. This ended up going out of the budget, as it always does, right? But the places that I was looking for originally, they were in Nashville, but they weren't necessarily in great parts of town. And then I'm like, if we do rent it out and something happens to somebody and it's not a great part of town, also, I would be coming down here often by myself because I can work remotely anywhere and my husband can't. So like I wanted a place that was really safe for being a female. That's what led to where we are now. But we started looking online, and we were looking at different things. I'm like, oh, there's something this. Oh, what about this? My husband would come in the kitchen. I'm like, look at this, look at this, look at this. And then he like turns, he goes, why don't you just go back to Tennessee with Gabby and Adam tomorrow? They were leaving the next day. Why don't you go back to Tennessee with Gabby and Adam and then just fly back after you buy something? Just like that. A home. I was like, have you met me? I can't just spend that kind of money on something if I don't know no. And meanwhile, my son-in-law says nothing. My daughter's looking at me with really big eyes. I think it was like, we weren't planning on taking you back with us. The feeling I got from the big eyes. I'm not certain what they were, but it wasn't. That's a great idea. Why don't you come with us? I told him, I'm like, well, okay, that's not part of the plan, and to just go buy something is not prudent. So I will spend the next week looking online at stuff and finding out what I want to visit and look at so that it's not a wasted trip when I do go. And that was the plan. And I found an agent down here. I found a property that I kind of liked, and then it was affiliated with this one agent. The agent's like, oh, we can help you with whatever and help you find. I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking I might need a seller's agent anyway to help me buy this home. And I think in Tennessee, well, everywhere you have to have a seller's agent now. You didn't have to in the past. I've never used a seller's agent in the past, but I think it's a new thing. I don't know. At any rate, I thought having somebody in the area helping me would be a prudent and smart idea. So I contact this guy who's listed on the thing, and I look at his website, and he's got a lot of properties and sells a lot, and big agency that he works with, or a big department or whatever. I'm like, okay, he seems to know what he's doing. This is kind of what I need, somebody who knows what they're doing. And I'm talking with what I thought was an agent online. It ended up being just somebody who gathers information and then connects you with an agent. But she seemed great. She seemed to have answers to all my questions. I really liked her, and she's like, oh, I'm going to hook you up with one of our grade A agents, or whatever she called them. I'm not an actual agent. I'm just here to help everything else. And I'm thinking, all right, well, if you're not even an agent, you've been so helpful in answering all these questions, I can only imagine how great the agents are going to be. So then I get assigned this girl. I don't get the guy who originally was on the posting and who I called about and inquired about. I never talked to him. I never got an email from him. I was just in his group, and I was dealing now with this other girl. So she seemed nice. She responded back right away, and oh, excited when you come. I said, I'd like to come next week, which was like 5 days away. I'd like to be there on Monday, and then I would have to leave by Thursday to come back again. So if, we can make that happen, I'd like to look at a bunch of properties in this price range, in a safe area, whatever you can find. I prefer to have a townhome or a condo because I would like to not have to worry about the exterior landscaping while I'm not there. I also want something in an area that I can eventually rent. So I don't want to be in a zone or a development that says, no, you're never allowed to rent your property. Okay, great. Okay, first of all, the gal she was supposed to call me back one day at a certain time, and she didn't. And then I thought, she had the time change incorrect. So I gave it another hour. The next hour comes and goes. So now it's 2 hours later from our scheduled time. So I messaged her, and I'm like, did I miss your call? Because we were supposed to have a call at this time. Oh, I am so sorry, but a lot of times my calls don't go through if you don't have me saved in your phone. I had her saved in my phone. When she didn't call right away at the beginning, I went in and put her name and her number in my phone. Nice try, chickadee. And I said, oh, I've got you in my phone. I don't know what happened. Like, I'm trying to be nice and give her the benefit of the doubt, but deep down in my head, I'm thinking, right away, this is a red flag. So then she's like, well, let's meet. I have another appointment right now, and this, and I'm sorry it didn't go through. I just thought you were too busy. How about we meet first thing tomorrow morning? Not meet, but we do a phone call first thing tomorrow morning at whatever time. I don't know. It was like 10 a.m. or something. It really wasn't. It was first thing for her, apparently, but by then I would have had 12 things done in my day. So next day comes, the time comes. Tick tock, nothing. I'm like, are you kidding me? So it's 20 after the hour, and I sent her a text and I said, I'm waiting for the phone call. And she's like, oh yes. And she's like, it wasn't pushing through at first, but let me try again. And then she calls me. She's in her car driving somewhere. Like, she wasn't prepared at all. But she was really nice and very helpful and spent a lot of time while she was in her car. She probably had to drive an hour or two anyway. She forgot about me, I swear. So then I said, well, I really want to come at the beginning of the week and have some stuff set up to see, because I'm only going to be there for a few days. No problem. So I get here on that Monday and I call her. I'm like, is there anything that you have for this Monday? I came in on the weekend. And then Monday morning, I still hadn't heard back from her. So I'm like, it's Monday morning and I'm here. I'm in Nashville. Do you have any properties for me to look at today? She gets back to me and says, let's go ahead and schedule. She's like, today is, I don't know, there was some sort of meetings or something. I don't know what was going on. She couldn't do it that day, but she was going to get something set up for the next day. I said, okay. So I spent Monday just researching on my own places so I could tell her, I want to look at this, I want to look at that, doing my own legwork, which I kind of did ahead of time too, but I had nothing to do that Monday. So that was my job, that I thought, I'm just going to go online and just going to keep looking and become more familiar with different areas, different townhomes, different prices, different association fees, all that stuff. Look into rentals and places that prohibit it in Nashville. So the next morning comes, or that evening, maybe even, I can't remember. I contacted her again and I said, what time is our first appointment for tomorrow? And she gets back to me. I think she left a phone message. I think I missed her. I was doing something and I missed the message. Well, first thing in the morning at 9:30 in the morning, we have a whole team meeting. We do every Tuesday. And then after that, let's meet at a coffee shop and go over all of what you need and want and everything. I'm thinking, that's what we did on the original phone call last week when I was back in Ohio. Like, we're going to do it again? No. This girl did not move at the same pace that I expected her to move. And I was very clear of my timeline. I was very clear. I was going to buy something. You think she would have dropped everything for me? No. Hundreds of thousands of dollars for this place, went to another agent, because eventually I just thought, I'm not using an agent. This is BS. I'm going to find something on my own. And I just started contacting places I wanted to go to. They're like, do you have an agent? I said, I don't, and I don't want one. Okay. But this one place was just really nice. This one firm, it was Hive, I think was the name of it. It was a small boutique real estate agency. And she's like, I completely understand. And I said, I had this horrible experience and I don't have time. I don't have time to mess around. I need to buy something. So whatever agent is listing, she's like, I'm going to connect you with an agent that's going to be able to show you that property. He'll probably be able to get you into it tomorrow. And I'm going to have him call you anyway, because he's going to want to also get that same information. I know you already gave it to the girl, but he's going to want that same information too. He's a great agent to connect with because he does short-term rentals himself. So he'll buy properties and sell them. He will be the person, he's our expert when it comes to buying a property that you might want to rent out, or buying a property that you solely want to rent out. He will know everything about all the, because I was also like contacting in this city, what are the codes and I was doing all that legwork myself. And she's like, Alex is our guy. He'll be able to help you. He was amazing. He called me the next day. He liked everything. I understand what you're going through. Let's find you things to look at. All right. How about we we look at this, that, and the other. Now, by this time, it was like Wednesday or Thursday. So by Friday, he's like, let's go look at, it was like 8 properties on this Friday. He's like, let's meet at the first one, 8 o'clock in the morning, the one that's closest to you, and then we're going to start heading out. We're going to go to Lebanon and Gallatin and Mount Juliet. Well, there was nothing in Mount Juliet that they didn't have a whole lot of townhomes, and if they did, they were just out of my price range. But there was stuff in Lebanon, there was stuff in Gallatin, and then there was one right there in Old Hickory where my daughter lived, which she wanted me to take because it was 5 minutes away, but it wasn't. They wanted a lot of money, and the association fees were high, and it needed a lot of work. So, and I was concerned about it because they had gutted it and redid it, but like the floors were separating, and like some of the aesthetic stuff was like falling apart. And I told the agent, I'm like, if the stuff you see is falling apart, it worries me that what they redid behind the walls, because I think the guy did a lot of it by himself. So he's like, oh, I understand. So that was unfortunate because it was a 3-bedroom too. And it had a pool, it had a tennis court. It was really quaint and cute. It was on an end. It was private. There was woods around there. But it wasn't ideal though, just because it was also very buggy because the woods were pretty close. And there was deer right next to the house, which I love the deer. We see the deer around us all the time too. But then I started thinking, ooh, deer ticks and everything that comes along with that. And if little Callahan was out here playing in this grass, if they're just meandering right in this grass, because I had the end unit closer to the woods, so they just come out there, and I'm like, I don't know. Alex took me around and showed me every place that day that I was interested in. Funny, this one wasn't available. Anyway, he was good. And when he met me at the first property that day, he gave me a color printout with little houses on all the places, a map of where all the houses and the addresses on there and which ones we were going to go to when. So I had like my agenda for the day and I could take notes on it. He was good. And he did not, he mentioned that there's a flat agent fee. It's like $700 or something like that. And he said that he can always, unless it's a new property, he can always negotiate that. He always gets the seller to pay for it. So don't worry about it. So, okay. And then any other stuff he negotiates with the selling agent. He's like, don't worry about it. He's like, I'm an expert at negotiating. Well, it turns out that the new construction was cheaper than what everybody wants to sell their old properties for, because everybody wants to make a mint now because the real estate prices went up 80% over the past 8 years in Nashville. And people think that they're still doing that. So I think we've capped out. So that's how I ended up in a new construction home, because it was cheaper than anything else. And, well, it's all brand new, so it should last longer. A little bit of shoddy work, so we'll see. But it's beautiful, and really the view is worth $1 million. There you go. That's my story. And so this channel is largely me trying to, on a budget, get furniture in it and fix it up so it is not just a big white box, which is what it felt like. But it's getting homey now. I mean, it really looks homey now because it's like a well-lived-in home. Stuff is everywhere. But it's not cute and lovely, and I wouldn't want anyone to be here. Now, look how awful. Look at my home. It's unbelievable. Oh gosh, too many projects. These are all projects in progress. But by tomorrow, a few things taken away. I gotta have it all done by the weekend. It's gotta be done. I am leaving Tuesday morning. So Monday's my last day. And I also have to shop on Monday for all the dessert stuff to make this chocolate torte that is a favorite of my son-in-law. So I told them, come over Friday or Monday evening for some chocolate torte with the baby, but you don't have to stay that long. So it's just going to be dessert. And I will show you my place and everything I've done. So everything has to be done. It has to be done anyway. I am leaving Tuesday morning. And that's my story. Okay. This was way longer than I expected, but thanks for hanging in there. Anyone who did. And if you didn't, I understand. Or if you jumped around, I understand. Because who am I that you're just sitting here listening to me? I don't know. Words of wisdom, take a deep breath. Do what you can. What doesn't get done can be tabled to another day. Unless it's life or death, don't sweat. I was going to say don't sweat the small stuff. Don't sweat the small or the big stuff. Just don't sweat it. If it's not life or death, it can be tabled to another time. I will tell myself those words of wisdom over and over on a replay in my brain for the next couple of days. Thanks for going on this journey with me. I'll see you tomorrow, probably. Bye, friends. I'm back. Hi, friends. All right. What'd I do? Did I eat something? I feel like I ate something. Was today the chicken? Was that yesterday? Oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? Listen, there is a storm outside right now. Did you see that flash of lightning? My lights in the bathroom flickered. If I lose power, that is not good. I shouldn't be streaming right now, but I'm plugged in, so that's good. I don't know what I'm doing here right now, plugging in, but I just got finished getting my Goo Gone and getting this yucky stuff off my door that's been there since we moved in. It appears to have been a sticker that was with the sliding doors when it was built. They just took some of it off, but not all of it off. Did I ever open my refrigerator and show you all the spots where there's blue tape? That's what I was going to use the Goo Gone for. I was like, I was going to use this Goo Gone on something else. And I couldn't think of what it was. So I'm like, I'm putting it away because this place is such a mess. I am not going to continue to leave things out. So I have taken a little bit of time and put things away. You would not notice because it looks exactly like a bomb still went off here. But I notice that it's a smaller bomb. Little tiny minefield that I'm navigating here now. The rest of my hoses came. I don't have my shovel until tomorrow. But now, well, maybe it'll be good. Listen, this rain's going to soften up the soil. Here's what happened. I went to start pulling up the sod to put those coils in. They weren't all here yet. All my hoses hadn't arrived, but I thought, well, I know I'm using the 15-foot there, and then I know I'm doing the 20-foot across there, so I can at least bury the back part of the yard and then just make my way forward as the smaller pieces arrive. I have one 100-footer that's going all the way down to the front because I have two spigots in the back. I kind of wish I had a third. It doesn't matter. I have a spigot out front, but it's in the garage. The only purpose behind that is if you were going to attach a wash tub then to the garage. Then I get it. Other than that, why put a spigot all the way in the back of the garage? How many people need water in the back of their garage? Why not just put it on the front of the house like this one is on the back of the house? I mean, is that just too logical for most people? Because honestly, short of I wanted to put a wash tub in, that would be the only reason to have that spigot in the back of the garage. And if that were the case, why didn't they just go the little extra mile? And I mean, they buy everything in bulk and hold on to it from 2017. That's when all my appliances were made. I'm sure they could get these tubs for like $5 a piece and then just hook them up. So it takes $10 more to hook it all up. It wouldn't even take that. That would include the time for the person to do it because they know what they're doing and they do it really quick. Honestly, it's like the little things that make a difference. We've talked about this before, haven't we? The Publix and how the employees there go out of their way to be extra nice. Offer to carry your groceries to the car. If they see you with your cart, they go to take it. Oh, that's the other story I forgot to share with you. When I told you about my Lowe's experience earlier today and the really nice customer service rep who I prejudged, and then the nice guy in the paint department who gave me all my advice on what I should use to paint my step. I was leaving and I did the self-checkout because I only had like 3 or 4 things, and I felt silly because I had that huge cart with me. But after I finished up and I had it bagged, the gal who was kind of monitoring the self-check thing came up to me and she's like, "Can I take your buggy for you?" Look, I did it with a little bit of a British accent. I'm sorry, she didn't use a British accent, but I don't, nobody in America calls them buggies. In Britain, they call them buggies. They call strollers buggies too, don't they? Everything that carries something, I guess, is a buggy in Britain, isn't it? All you Brits out there, let me know, is everything a buggy? Because we push babies in strollers, and in the grocery store, we push carts. Two different things. Strollers are for children, young children only. Carts are for groceries, although there is a place for a child to sit in the front. Okay. Anyway, she was really nice. And it's just nice to have somebody, because I was thinking, now I have this huge cart, just a small bag of 3 little things, and I got to take this cart all the way out of the store and around and through the parking lot, maybe back to the other side, because there wasn't a cart return at the exit because everybody has stuff in their cart. So it was nice that she just offered to take it from me. And I said, oh yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. And she goes, thank you. It was very odd. Wasn't really an appropriate response, but it was very sweet, and she was very enthusiastic about it. And I'm like, okay, yes. You're welcome, I guess. I don't know. She was very sweet. And then she goes on to say, I love your glasses. And I said, oh, thanks. Sometimes you just got to be a little fun, change it up. She's like, right? She's so sweet. I'm telling you, a compliment goes a long way, a real long way. I'm drinking straight caffeine here, as you can see. After I got off my live stream, after I finished recording with you, and after I took the bright white out of my, they're still white, the bright white is out of my lampshades, put them aside to dry. It was today that I finished that chicken. Okay, so then I heated up the chicken and potatoes, and I sat there on the couch. I made myself, you can't really see, I don't suppose, but there's no, where did you sit, Jen? Well, I stuck myself in that little corner over there, that there's a little bit of a space that you can sit on, and that's where I sat, because over here, oh, the picture frames, which I'm all taking apart now, all the pieces parts are kind of all over, but they were sitting on this thing here. I didn't have any place to sit, so that's where I sat. I mean, I have the table there, that's covered too. I could have pushed this aside. I just felt like I wanted to sink into something and just relax. My back is really aching. I'm trying to consciously push my shoulders back and have better posture, because I am bending over so much that even when I don't have to bend over, I'm bending over. Like I'm getting a permanent hunchback that is no bueno. So I just thought, oh, I just want to sink in something comfortable and eat this comfort food. The next thing you know, I'm waking up. I ate the food, and I was sitting down, and I started like I don't know if it was true crime. I think it was a 2020 episode or a Dateline. It couldn't have been 2020 because those are now like 2 hours long. So I think it was a Dateline. Anyway, they're all on YouTube. You can get them from like Dateline Australia and Dateline New Zealand and that too. They have other crimes there. So there's a lot on YouTube that you can watch. There's no need to have cable anymore. There really isn't. But my husband's addicted to it, so we have it in our house at home. But I live on YouTube. I haven't personally turned on the television at my house, except for maybe, well, I can count on one hand how many times I've done it in the past year. And those would have just been times that he was at work, or the one time he was at a conference for a few days. So I just kind of at night chilled out, and I connected my YouTube to the big screen above the fireplace. So I'm like, oh, this is kind of nice. I see why he likes this. And then I go back to my little computer screen. But it's fine. Usually I listen. I don't watch. I listen because I'm doing things. I'm a doer, not a sitter. So I fell asleep. And then, do you know what? I woke up to the fire alarm again. Do you remember? It was like when I was live streaming, I'm like, what is that noise? It's like beep 4 times. Beep, 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 really loud. I thought I had done something because I was it was just steam on a tea kettle, and there really even wasn't much. I actually took it off before it even started whistling. But I was convinced because right when I set it down, it went off. I'm like, I think I did something. I don't know what I did. But I fell asleep. It woke me up. And I was like, well, now what do I do? These are 9-foot ceilings. I don't think I can I can't reach the ceiling at least until that ladder comes tomorrow. I can't reach it on that 4-step ladder. I guess I can get close to the ceiling, I think, if I'm standing on the top, but I've got nothing to hold on to. And the smoke detector's in the center of the hallway there. I understand the logic behind it, but now I know I need that tall ladder because of that. Now, I don't think the batteries have to be replaced because, I mean, you're supposed to replace them once a year, but my gosh, I moved in February and this is April. And when you replace them once a year, that's just preventative. You probably could keep them in there for years, but that's just what the fire department recommends you do. Do I do that? No. I wait until my smoke detector at home goes beep, beep, to let you know your batteries are low, and then I replace it. So I don't know what that was, but now I have to fill out a ticket, and I have to figure out how to fill out a ticket, which is probably a good idea because I keep telling you all the things I'm going to fill out tickets for, and I haven't done it, so I probably should figure it out. But now I'm getting ready to leave in a few days, and I don't know if they're going to want to schedule time to come in and look. I mean, something's wrong. It happened twice, and so that would have been about maybe 2 hours after the first time, and it hasn't happened since. And then, since then, it's been, like another 4 hours. So I don't know. Always something, right? Always something. So I'm sitting in this chair over here with my laptop on my lap, and I am texting with my daughter because it's a MacBook, so my text messages come through it too. So she's texting back and forth with me, and we're working out when I'm going to come this weekend to stop and say hi to everybody and visit for a little bit. And my other daughter, I'm texting as well because we're going back and forth about when I go home, which day it is, and when she's working and her husband's working, with things they have planned in the evenings and all that stuff. And but we could arrange for you to just get into the place by yourself and go to sleep if you want to. And then the next day, Matt will be there until 10 a.m. and then he has an appointment, but I have to work on Wednesday. Their schedules are, his schedule's not up in the air, but her schedule's up in the air. They both work 4/10s, which is a great schedule. He's a physical therapist and she's a veterinarian. Her schedule, though, changes all the time. So she definitely works every other Saturday and she doesn't work Sundays. So that's the only thing that she knows is set. Well, really the only thing that's set is she doesn't work at all on Sundays. And that was something she requested when she took the job, and they said that they would see to it that could happen. So she doesn't work on any Sundays. And then Saturdays, she works every other Saturday. And then if it's a Saturday that she's working, then she only has 3 of the 5 days during the week that she's working. So there are times that she's home when I go there. Inevitably, she's got a doctor's appointment or this appointment or financial advisor appointment or that. And she's always like, how do other people do it? Oh my God, I don't know. They used to take off. My daughter said that to me. She's like, well, we have this appointment for Callahan, but it's not until 4 o'clock, which is good because then Adam, he can finish up work early and start early that day and all that stuff. And she goes, how did people do these appointments before they had jobs where you could, your time was flexible? I'm like, everybody just took off, dear. That's what we just did. Like, I was a stay-at-home mom and my jobs were I still worked like this and like the scrapbooking and like the speech therapy, and like I had jobs, but I always had jobs where I could be at home with the kids, and it's not even that we didn't have to pay for daycare. It was just that I didn't want to put them in daycare. I loved my kids. I love spending time with them. They were my favorite people in the whole world. I remember when my girls were late elementary, maybe early middle school age, and I was at the gym. I think I told the story before. I was at the gym. They were in a cheerleading gym, and I had mentioned to one of the moms there that I was getting excited because I was taking this girls trip with the girls. The girls and I would often go to like a beach destination and just soak in the sun. That's the melanoma on my back. Anyway. It's hard to explain. I rarely got sun on my back because I don't like laying on my stomach. So the fact that it's on my back, but then that's melanoma. It kind of has a life of its own. So who knows? But we were sun worshipers. We were. And we loved it. All three of us we could just sit by the pool or listen to the ocean waves. We didn't like the sand as much. We enjoyed hearing the ocean. Those resorts where you can sit by the pool but hear the ocean, perfect. But all the sand and everything in your feet, and then it gets in the hotel room and it gets sandy. It's just. I'm not a sand person. I'm really not, but I really do enjoy the ocean waves. I love to have a room that's oceanfront, and then you have a balcony, and then at night you open the sliding glass doors and you just listen to that ocean. Oh, that's the best. All right, as if it happens often, but when it does, it's lovely. And someday, if I start vacationing again, I don't know. I think my vacationing days are over. It's so sad to think about. Like, I can go with girlfriends. It's just not the same. You don't know each other as well as family. And my husband is not a fan of travel. So he's always been very supportive of me taking the kids on trips. Take all three, take two, take one, take whatever, just don't ask me to have to go. He likes his creature comforts at home. And so traveling with him is not that enjoyable because he's not like really enjoying it. You want to be with somebody who's just as excited as you are about everything, not like, I just want to go back to the room and, I don't know, read a book, watch TV, whatever. So how did I start all this? So I was at the gym and I had mentioned I'm getting excited because I had a girls' trip coming up and was going to Cabo or something like that. I don't know where we were going with it. I don't think it was probably Cancun. I bet it was Cancun. Cheapest place to go. You can fly direct from the Cleveland airport in Ohio to Cancun on a lot of airlines, discount ones and the major ones. So, okay. I mentioned I'm going on this trip, and the lady turns to me and she's like, "Oh, have fun." And I said, "I know." And she's like, "How long are you going to be here for?" And I was talking about it. And then she's like, "How many girls?" And I'm like, "Just the three of us." And she's like, "Oh, who? With Robin?" And Robin's the one friend that I would go walking with when I was at the gym all the time. I said, No. I said, "Me and the two girls, Gabby and Gracie." And she went, "Oh, I thought you were going like on a girls' trip." And like, Well, I am. We're all girls. And I was so shocked by it because never in a million years would it cross my mind back then to take a vacation away from my children to hang out with my friends. I loved my friends, but they were good to go to coffee with or go to dinner with or, see here and there and that. But like to vacation with, that would mean I'm apart from my family and my kids. And that just never sounded appealing to me. It never sounded enjoyable, especially because you don't know them as well. Like with your kids, like we know each other very well. We know the nuances of how we like to fall asleep and when we like to get up and what we like to do and how relaxed we are and how scheduled or not scheduled our days would be. Like we just know each other. It's just easy. But my girls are both married now, so they've got other people to travel with. And I used to pay for all the trips, but I cannot afford to pay for 5 of us to go, leaving my husband and my son at home. Because my son is a lot like my husband. He's like, "Going on a trip? Okay. Yeah, it sounds fun, Mom." Because he's so nice. But I know he doesn't enjoy it. He's like my husband. He's a homebody. I guess it's in the genes. My daughter's got my genes. Let's go. So I say that to say I don't know when I'm going to go on another trip, but that's okay because I've got this place now. Like this is my little vacation oasis. I'll come down here, and if I need a pool, I will lather up and put on my swim shirt and swim shorts to cover as much possible. Use my, I can't even remember the name of it because it's been a whole year, but I need to get it out because summer's around the corner and it's already been in the 80s here. What is this sunscreen? It's a sunscreen that's white, basically, but I get it tinted. So basically it's like putting foundation on your whole body because it is tinted rather than the white. I like it. I like the tinted. I mean, it's not bad to have a little bit of, extra color on you, especially if you're putting that stuff on that blocks so much of the sun. Then I don't have to worry about putting foundation on. I just put my sunscreen on. There you go. It's kind of expensive to just put it on your whole body, but you do what you got to do. It's not as expensive as time in the hospital having a melanoma removal surgery. So there you go. How did I start all this? Well, while I was over there cleaning the door, all of a sudden I saw one of the pillows on my chair go flying off down into the ravine to the green grass abyss. I was like, oh, shoot. And then it started flipping. I'm like, I got to go get that. And then I go look at the other chair, and its cushion was gone. I'm like, okay. Back cushions did not stick. I had this feeling they weren't going to. They didn't seem like they were going to, but the bottom ones are wedged in a little bit more. So I have the double-sided Velcro tape holding them down. Also, you sit on them, so that puts more pressure to hold that like Velcro adhesive part. But it's also wedged a little bit more. The top pillow is just sort of set back there. So it's just not sticking to the Velcro sticky strips. And I'm going to have to think really hard about how to get those top ones to stay on. Again, not a big sewer, so if any of you know about like adhesive patches that you can maybe stick on, that's really sticky adhesive to the back, and then has a flap that could go around the spindles of the back of the chair that could go around one, and then I could stick it to a Velcro adhesive on the other side and kind of Velcro them in with straps. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I'm just trying to figure out a way to not actually have to sew because it's a big, thick pillow. I don't know. And I feel like if I'm going to try to sew some sort of thing to tie it, I'm not going to sew it well enough anyway, and a big wind's going to come and it's just going to tear it and rip it. I don't have very much faith in myself, but that's understandable because I took a semester of like home ec when I was in high school as an elective. And 1/3 of the semester was sewing. And that was when I was 17. So not a sewer. And I can't permanently put anything in there because I have to be able to take the cushions on and off. Okay. It's another thing to think through and figure out. Oh, I know what one of the other tickets are. That wall between me and the neighbor over there, Jay, is really slanted now. The wind is blowing it. Normally it just rocks back and forth and goes She's like, I gotta figure out a ticket for that thing. I said, yeah, I think both of them. I think my other one is rocking too. Oh, and then the cap on it is gone. I mean, it's not gone. I got it. But I don't know if they want it or if they're just going to get another cap and stick it on there. Did I tell you? I did tell you. Mr. C glued his on twice. Some sort of super glue that he got from the hardware store. I said, I'm filling out a ticket. I'm going to pay to get some special glue because they can't put their fences together right here. Come on, get it together. All right, so right now I just drilled the holes and I put the brackets on. So it is time to attach the lights in the bathroom. And then I just pulled the car out into the rain because it's so dirty. I wish I would have thought of it at the beginning when it was like, psh, it came down like a huge rainstorm at first, but it does say chance of rain for the next hour or two. So maybe it'll clean off a little bit. And then Saturday it's supposed to rain again. So I don't think I'm going to wash it until maybe, well, I'll take a look at it Saturday and see the condition of it. If it still doesn't look great, then I'll go up and get it washed before I go to church on Sunday and then my 4 market day pickups and then to my daughter's house. I am getting a pair of shoes. I wanted a pair of white shoes. I am getting a pair of white shoes. I don't remember which ones they are. I've looked at a couple of them. There's some Madewell ones, which I know is a good brand, but really ugly. I just want a basic white tennis shoe. But I want a decent brand. I don't want it to be weird. And so many of them had like leopard print in the back or fur on them or lightning bolts on the side. I'm like, no wonder you're reselling them. Why'd you buy it to begin with? Are you kidding me? So I don't want anything weird, even if it's a really good deal. And of course, I want shoes that people are like, I only wore this once, or I only wore these twice, or they were too big, or they were too small, and they're basically brand new. Those are the resale shoes that I got. So it's going to be a surprise. I don't remember what brand because I've looked at so many different shoes and talked to so many different people. But those shoes are in the same city that my daughter lives. So I'm going to pick those up then. My other things I'll be picking up on Sunday are closer to my church. I didn't at the building store. The one thing I didn't have on my list that I forgot was to get some sort of like peg or hook or something. Here, hold on. This is going in the bathroom on the back wall. It's a little bit more rustic, but that's why I wanted to go with the lighter, more ethereal wallpaper, kind of the contrast between the two. So I got the Queen Anne's lace, and then I have this metal shelf thing with the wood. This is the back side of it, with the wood shelves. And as you saw, I do have the brackets to hang it on the wall. So this will definitely get an anchor. Anchor time, that's okay. I'm the anchor queen now. I can do it. So I'm going to put the 2 anchors in the wall for these screws and then hang it. So that will basically hold it. This is more decoration, I believe, but I need something up here. I don't know if it would look good with a hook. I was just thinking just a regular peg that had like a little ball at the end or something that stuck out of the wall. I could, if it was just raw wood, I could stain it with the stain that I got. I don't know. So I'll have to look into that. Maybe I can look on Amazon or something. If you have any ideas, let me know. I don't want it to be too industrial, I don't think. So I don't want to put like something like a pipe fitting, you know, how like pipe fittings were kind of in there for a little bit as part of the whole farmhouse thing. I don't want to do that because it still has a silver faucet and it has a silver toilet paper holder. And then I have to decide which one of these 2 shelves I'm going with. Now the one has black, but I figured that's okay because even though the other things are silver in there, like everything doesn't have to be matchy-matchy, right? Sometimes I think I say things to you to justify it to myself. So the one shelf was darker, a little bit darker wood. Probably if I had the light on here, it would be better. Let's turn a light on. And then the other shelf, look at all the pieces parts that come with that. Sealant fix, a little tool here, all the black, all this. This is like, oh, they even got the little screwdriver, everything. Like, you name it. I don't even know what this is. Oh, it's a level. Oh my gosh. This is a fancy dancy. This one was probably expensive. It's just literally, this was, it's to put a towel on. That was my whole intent behind it. And then also a place to put your cell phone when you're in there because the sink is shaped as such that it's kind of, when you try to put your cell phone on the corner, there's no flat part really. And when you try to put your cell phone on the corner, it's like slides into the bathroom sink. So this is, I don't remember how it went exactly. Oh, like this on the wall. And then somehow that shelf was, I don't remember. But it was just a simple black wrought iron rod with a wood shelf on top. Okay. So that's this wood. That would go that way. That's nice. Okay. It almost seems too polished for the raw wood that's down there. But this is the other wood shelf. And this one, I think, matches this a little bit better, don't you? Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that matches better. I do like the shelves on this side better, but that's too bad because that's the side. Maybe I can just flip the, no, I can't. That is part of the whole shelf. Maybe. Oh, there's a screw. I could unscrew the back and then see if those wood shelves slide out and flip them. It doesn't matter, Jenny. Just leave it. This is my life. I make my life. So here is the other one. Looks like it. These are the things. So it goes on the wall like this. Well, where does the towel thing? Oh, it goes on the wall like this. There we go. And then the towel hangs here. I bet I'm going to use this one. I do like all the pieces parts that are in that one though, but this is more, this will go better with the silver because it's more polished and a little bit more high end and it'll look a little bit nicer. But that other shelf that I'm hanging on the back is going to go better with this. Screwed myself basically by buying this thing to put on the back there. It's not true. I can always change the toilet paper holder, or I can spray the toilet paper holder and make it brown. That'll leave the faucet still silver. If I have enough of that stuff left over and if I feel like it, I could tape around the whole area and then spray the faucet too. Because I got the can of Krylon Fusion all-in-one paint and primer, 5 times stronger adhesive, no peel guarantee, matte coffee bean. So that's the color of it. And that's the color. I thought that these frames were kind of that color. I guess they are. But now I look at it, this really is more black. But I think this brown will go in this room a little bit more. So there you go. That's what we have this. I wanted matte brown. I almost got a different one right before I was going that had a little bit of texture in it and that. And then I was looking at it while I was waiting for the guy to mix up my, where is that? Where's my, oh, here it is. Look, this little $5 stain. So he mixed it up for me. I picked the color. I didn't even realize stain. Back in the day when you bought stain, it was always pre-mixed. Not anymore. So I got the color Cordovan leather. That was my favorite color out of the chart that was there. So he mixed it up to make it look like Cordovan leather, which is like a brown. But it's I got the one that was semi-transparent. So if you put it on wood, you still see the wood grain come through. You can get the kind that basically it's a stain, but it looks like paint almost. It completely covers the wood. Then this was semi-transparent. What would the other one be then? Very I don't remember. Looks like the sticker is over. It's an oil-based stain. Oh, that's gonna stink. Didn't realize that. No wonder he said throw the foam roller away. That's from Cleveland, Ohio. Look at that. Made in the USA with global materials. Cabot, Cleveland, Ohio. It's from Cabot. Oh yeah, it says Cabot right there. It's the only one they had. I've never even heard of the company. I live in the greater Cleveland area. I've never even heard of this. And yet, here I am down in Tennessee, and it was the only stain that they had to choose from. Okay, well, we're going to see how it goes. I got my little tray and my 4-inch roller, just like you said, they're almost all 4 inches. But so we're going to roll onto the step and make it not be raw wood anymore. It'll protect it and it'll look better. And then if I have some left over, I might do some trim around the mirror. Oh, guess what? I have to do trim around the mirror. I was thinking, I'm not going to do it. I'm not doing it on this trip, next trip. But somehow in the process of putting the wallpaper up, the glue on the back side of the mirror, when I would like tuck the wallpaper in, was taking off part of the finish. So the edges of the mirror have like clear spots that, like if I put my nail behind it, I can see behind the mirror. And there's like these little spots around it. I think I did it. It could have been that way when they put it up. They could have screwed it up at the beginning, and it's not that big a deal. So I may just not have noticed. I'm unsure. But somehow it got screwed up and taken off. I don't know how it got taken off. The only thing that makes sense is the glue did it, and why, I don't know. It's riddling me that. I don't know how that all happened, but now I definitely need to put wood around the trim. It's not going to be that big of wood, and it's going to have to come in on the mirror more because I'm going to have my little sconces on the side. Okay. Oh, y'all. I might go with the shelf after all. You know why? Look. I was just looking over the laptop. That goes so much better. This is going to be on the wall, like this, on the wall, and this is going to be next to the mirror. And then here's the other one. Got so much junk around here, I don't even know where to put stuff. Do you see how much more polished this looks? This looks too country. Yeah. I think this one is just going to look, matches better, doesn't it? I think it does. It's not like it clashes with that, but I mean, it is what it is. That's what we're going to do. Thank you for being here. Honestly, what would I do without you guys? I've worked through more things by talking through it on this channel. I appreciate you. It's going to my Amazon pile. See my Amazon pile? Where is it? All of that. That whole pile starts up here, all the way down here, over there, and then now, no, not on the table. Those are more stainless steel. Those are my smaller stainless steel things that I have to put outside. But these three things have to go back. These were the pop-up sprinkler things, but I had to buy the spike to go in the bottom, and I don't know. I wasn't sure how one attached to the other. I think I would have had to buy a special T-spec. It just seemed like too much work. Whoops. Jenny's making a mess. Okay, well, that was fun that we did that together. The rain is easing up. At least I'm not going to lose power. That's good news. All right, so I am going to go now that my car is outside getting washed off by that rain. I have no excuse but to go into my garage and use it so that I can pull the car in when they start working outside again and all the dust is up in the air. All right, well, we're going to do this first. We're going to hang this, and we're going to go stain a step and probably spray paint at least one of those just to take a look at it. See how it comes out. The stain is going to stink though. Okay, that's it for today. Oh, sleep score. Hasn't been good. I don't know if I did it yesterday, but I know it wasn't good. Today, you want to know what's interesting? Remember how I said I fell asleep? You know how long I slept? An hour and 25 minutes. It registered it. I thought it was only registering it at night because it kind of knows you're about when you go to sleep, when you should be going to sleep and that. It registered an hour and 25 minutes. And it added it to last night's sleep score. So I'm still okay because I had only slept like 5 hours last night. But now it's saying I slept 6 hours and 54 minutes. Almost 7 hours. Isn't that crazy? It like gives you credit for napping. Adds it in with your total sleep of the day. I mean, it does make sense. It's like every night I'm only sleeping 5 hours, but then I take a 3-hour power nap in the middle of the day or something, which old people do, right? My bedtime was an hour and 39 minutes later. Yeah, I got to bed late. It was after 11 when I was still down here finishing up. My interruptions, look at this. One wake up for 1 minute. 20 out of 20. That'll never happen again. I was exhausted. And then I only slept for 5 hours and so many minutes. So yeah, I woke up to roll over and then right back to sleep. And then when I got up to go to the bathroom at 5:45 in the morning, I was up. That was it for the day. Started thinking about everything I had to order on Amazon and whatnot. But, I think I got some good stuff, so that's okay. All right, so it was a 75, which is good because it was in the 60s before. So it upped my score. It's still okay. But now I know. You can take a nap if you do poorly on your sleep. Apple Watch will allow you to make up for that and give yourself a power nap to get back on track. And quite frankly, it's 8:47. I could go to sleep right now. Clearly, if I just ate food on the couch and fell asleep for, how long did I say? It was longer than I thought. Hour and a half. I was sleeping for an hour and a half. I did wake up a couple times during it and thought, I really need to get up. I gotta go back to sleep. It didn't count any of those. Didn't even know. I may not have moved. I just remember thinking, oh, my neck is so sore. Let me turn it this way. And then I'm thinking, all these windows, and it was like a bright in the middle of the day, and I'm sitting right there in the corner with two windows on either side, and I'm like, I wonder if the neighbor's outside just watching me. I wonder if she thinks I'm dead. The old lady next door kicked the bucket. She's on her couch. It's possible. It's very possible that she thought that. Anyway, okay. I'm rambling and I'm stalling. I need to get back to work. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye, friends.